beautiful friend, it's Marnie. Welcome back to Life is Delicious. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. How many times this week did you say yes to things that you really wanted to say no to? And how many times did you accommodate someone else's wishes so that they would stay comfortable? Well, in fact, you were not. The reason I ask is because this has become a very common situation for women who overfunction, especially when we have a lot on our plate. So if you feel like you've been overfunctioning or people-pleasing or maybe just doing more than you actually feel like you can do happily, I've created something just for you. It's called the 5-Day Midlife Boundary Reset. It's a 5-day email program where we do some quick resets that help to rewire the fear of disappointing others, and it helps us stop disappointing ourselves. Join me over at lifeisdelicious.ca, where it's free to sign up, and it will really give you some quick inspiration for getting your boundaries back on track. Please do click on that good old subscribe button. I love your support, and it's incredible to see your beautiful comments and how many of you are sharing these episodes with the people in your life that you love. I'm so grateful to be here with you, and I'm so excited to be on this crazy midlife adventure with all of you. Thank you for subscribing. It truly means the world. Okay, back to the show. As most of you know, if you have been around the podcast for a little while, I am definitely a garden girl. And if you're new here, welcome to the show and welcome to the Life is Delicious family. I'm so glad you're here. I talk about my garden quite often on this podcast because my garden is truly my happy place. It's like a huge outdoor room in my summertime, and you will usually find me wandering around out there first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee in my hand, barefoot, checking on what's grown overnight. And one of the things I love about it is that honestly, every single day feels just a little bit like Christmas. There's always something new. Maybe a flower that's opened overnight, maybe a tiny tomato blossom that wasn't there yesterday. Maybe some lettuce is finally ready to harvest. I love going out and seeing the growth and all the change, and it's like every day there's some little tiny miracle happening, and it simply brings me so much joy. And this year, almost everything I'm growing, I actually started from seed. And a few months ago, I watched this YouTube video about winter sowing perennial flowers in milk jugs. And the idea was kind of simple, and I thought, this probably isn't going to work. But you put the seeds into the soil, tape up the milk jugs, and take the lid off, and then just put them outside in like January, February. And you leave them outside in the cool weather and let nature just do its thing. So I thought, I'm going to try this and just see what happens. And honestly, I was shocked and amazed in a really good way. So for weeks, I kept going out there and looking into the milk jugs, and there was like nothing happening. It seemed like, why is this a big waste of my time? Or what's the point of this whole exercise? But they just sat there in the rain for months. And probably after about 8 weeks, I started to see these little tiny seeds popping up. And under the soil, obviously, something incredible was taking place. The seeds were absorbing the moisture, and the cells were waking up, and life was preparing itself beneath the surface. And then there was more, and then more. In fact, so many of the seeds germinated that I ended up having to build another garden bed under one of my giant cedar trees because I literally ran out of room for all these beautiful little perennial flowers. And I guess that's a good problem to have. So standing there one morning, I was looking at all the seedlings, and I had one of those moments where life just kind of hands you a lesson through something completely ordinary. And it struck me that our lives are exactly like all of those little seeds. Because everything in our life begins as a seed. Every thought is a seed, every belief is a seed, every habit and every action is also a seed. And so every choice we make is actually planting something in the garden of our life. And just like in a real garden, the things that actually grow come from the ones that we consistently nurture. And here's something fascinating about actual seeds. Scientists tell us that a seed contains everything it needs to become a mature plant. The blueprint is already in that tiny little seed. But the blueprint alone isn't enough. But when you think about it, it's kind of fascinating, and that's what's been so fun this year is me being able to put one little seed in the ground, and then the plant gets a little bigger, and pretty soon you've got tomatoes or cucumbers or beautiful sunflowers, and it all came from this little microscopic seed. But with that blueprint that's inside the seed, it's not enough for it to just be there. It needs nurturing, it needs water, it needs to be in the right environment, it needs light and nutrients. And without those things, the potential just stays trapped inside the seed and nothing actually flourishes. And I think we as human beings are the same. Most of us already carry the potential for the life that we want right inside us. The confidence, the joy, the ability, the strength, the willingness, all of those things. But we forget that we need also the right environment, the right encouragement, and we need to have the right tools in place, like positive self-talk and letting go of fear and all of those things to actually move forward. And because that's true, the question actually is for all of us, what is it that we're planting in the garden of our life, and what is it that we're feeding? Because whatever we water will grow. Whatever we fertilize will grow. And if we constantly water, fertilize, and pay attention to gratitude, gratitude grows. Confidence grows. Kindness grows. And if we water our dreams through consistent action, those dreams begin to grow too. But the opposite is also true. Fear grows when we feed it. Self-doubt grows when we focus on it. And negative self-talk grows when we repeat it day after day. And just like weeds in our garden, the things we don't intentionally manage can quickly take over valuable space. And here's what I've learned after years and years of gardening. The weeds, they don't actually need permission. They don't need encouragement. They don't need fertilizer. They don't need attention. They just show up. The flowers and the food and the tomatoes and the cucumbers, on the other hand, they need care. They need attention. They need fertilizer. And they need the right conditions to grow. And isn't that true with our lives as well? Negative thoughts so often seem to arrive all by themselves. And fear certainly doesn't need an invitation to show up. And worry, well, it doesn't need a reminder. It just is always there. Joy and gratitude, peace and purpose, those things require intention. We have to choose them. We have to cultivate them, and we have to water them consistently. And one of the most beautiful things is that tiny actions create extraordinary results over time. Because no gardener planted a seed today and expects a full-grown tomato plant tomorrow. We understand that growth takes time when it comes to plants. Yet somehow, with ourselves, we expect ourselves to transform overnight. And we get frustrated with ourselves when we're not seeing those immediate results. And I don't know about you, but it's really easy to forget sometimes that most of the important growth is happening beneath the surface where nobody can see it yet. And just because we can't see progress, it doesn't mean that progress isn't happening. Maybe you're working on building some confidence. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're healing from a traumatic experience, or learning a new skill. Or maybe you're trying to rebuild your health. Whatever it is you're working on, those roots are forming even when the harvest hasn't arrived yet. So today, I want to challenge you to think about your own life garden. Your mental garden, your spiritual garden, your physical garden, your relationship garden, your work garden, and your purpose garden. Take a moment and just think about it. This struck me really deeply the other day, and I thought to myself, what do I intentionally want to plant today out in the world? Do I want to plant kindness? Do I want to plant purpose? Do I want to plant something new? So what seeds are you planting? And perhaps more importantly, what seeds are you watering and nurturing? Because the harvest you experience 6 months from today will largely be determined by what you're nurturing today. So here's 5 ways to be more intentional about the seeds you're planting and the ones you're focusing on. Number 1, choose one seed to focus on at a time. Instead of trying to change everything at once, just pick one thing, one habit, one goal, one relationship, one mindset, and ask yourself, if I just chose to water one area of my life consistently for the next 30 days, what would create the biggest positive impact? Start there. And that's the focus for this week. Number 2, audit what you're feeding. Pay attention to what gets your attention. Are you feeding gratitude or criticism? Are you feeding positivity or fear? Are you feeding your growth, or are you feeding some excuses over and over? What you consume mentally becomes the fertilizer for your thoughts. So let's start to be more intentional about what we're feeding our mind. Number 3, water daily, not occasionally. Your garden doesn't thrive because you go out once a month and give it a good dose of water. It thrives because it's cared for consistently, and the same is true for your life. Small daily actions will always outperform occasional bursts of motivation. And I can tell you for sure that 5 minutes consistently every day of some positive action will beat 1 hour of motivation once in a while. Because consistency is the water that helps whatever seed you're trying to grow faster. Number 4, and this one is one of my favorites. Pull the weeds early. Don't let negative thoughts take root, or don't let bad habits take root. When you catch yourself saying things like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never figure this out, or it's too late to start something new, pause and change that thought. Challenge it and replace it with something more empowering. Because small weeds are so much easier to remove than the deeply rooted ones. And number 5, trust the process. Not every seed sprouts at the same speed. Some flowers bloom really quickly, and others take months to germinate. Some perennials even take years before they truly become their most magnificent. And your life is no different. So this week I want to challenge you to keep showing up, to trust that what you need to have happen in your life is working beneath the surface. So keep watering and keep the faith that growth is happening, even when you can't see it. And actually, that also comes back to another point. I had some peas that I put out in the garden this year, and I put a lot of things in the garden, but I particularly planted the peas nice and early because they're supposedly really prefer to be germinated in a cooler temperature. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and nothing happened. And I thought, I don't know if the temperature was too cold, or maybe some birds got the seed. I don't know, but I had no growth at all. And so just like our lives, sometimes we do something that doesn't work out the way we hope it will. And so you know what I did? I planted again. And it's the same with our life. Sometimes our first try doesn't actually fly. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep planting. So before we wrap up today's episode, I'd like to invite you to get comfortable so we can do this Garden of Your Life meditation. And if you're driving, simply listen and just allow the words to wash over you. But if you're somewhere quiet, perhaps close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in and gently exhale. Take a big breath of life, breathing in calm and breathing out anything you no longer need to carry. One more time, a beautiful deep breath in and a slow, gentle breath out. Now imagine that you're standing at the entrance to a beautiful garden. And this garden belongs entirely to you. It's the garden of your life. And as you walk through the gate, notice the path beneath your feet. Notice the warmth of the sun on your skin. Perhaps you hear birds singing in the distance. Maybe there's a soft breeze just moving through the trees. Take a moment to just simply be here, to slow down, to notice, to just breathe. And as you begin walking through this garden, you realize that every section represents a different part of your life. Over here is your mental garden, the place where your thoughts, your beliefs, and your dreams live. Nearby is your physical garden. This is the way you care for your body, the food you eat, the water you drink, and the movement you give yourself. And just a little further along is your spiritual garden, the place where peace and stillness, gratitude, and connection grow. And just over to the left, there's your family garden and your friendship garden. And just over beside that tree is your purpose garden, your work garden, each one reflecting the life you've been creating. And as you slowly walk through these spaces, simply notice what you see. What is blooming beautifully right now? Where are things thriving? What fills you with pride? What makes you smile? Maybe there are flowers bursting with color, strong, healthy plants reaching toward the sun. Perhaps you notice your relationships that feel nourishing, habits that support your well-being, dreams that are beginning to take shape. Just feel how good it feels to notice these things and take a moment to celebrate what is already growing. So often in our lives, we focus on what's missing. So today, let's honor what is flourishing. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, continue walking. And this time, I want you to notice any areas that have become a little overgrown. Perhaps there are some weeds scattered throughout the garden. Maybe one weed is called fear. The fear that tells you you're not ready, that you're too old, that it's too late. Maybe another weed is called self-doubt, the voice that questions your worth, your abilities, your dreams. And perhaps there's a weed called resentment, old hurts you've been carrying, an old story that you've been replaying over and over, something that's been quietly taking up space in the background. Without judgment, simply notice. There's no need for criticism, no judgment, because every garden grows weeds from time to time. It's just part of being human. Maybe in your relationship garden, there's some weeds that are relationships that no longer serve you. Maybe there's some friendships that you've outgrown, or maybe even partnerships. And that's okay. Just take notice. Just have a look around, because noticing is the most important part. Now imagine kneeling down beside those weeds, and one by one, gently pulling them from the soil. Fear, self-doubt, resentment, worry, comparison, whatever no longer belongs here. Pull them gently from the roots. And as you do, feel the space opening up. Feel the light returning. Feel the freedom that comes from letting go. Now take another big, deep breath of life and exhale. Now look down at your hands. open your palm and look to see that there is a single seed sitting in your palm. This seed represents something that you want to grow during this season of your life. Maybe it's a new business. Maybe it's better health. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's a dream that you've been postponing. Trust the first thing that comes to mind. This is your seed. It can be anything that you want it to be. Find a beautiful place in your garden, a space that you've made by pulling some weeds, a place with rich soil, a place filled with possibility, and gently plant that seed. Cover it with care, and as you do, make a quiet promise to yourself, a promise that you will tend to this seed, that you will give it your attention, your energy, your love, your consistency. Now imagine yourself returning to this garden every day, watering that seed, protecting it, expecting it to grow. Even on the days when nothing seems to be happening, you continue to show up. You continue to trust, and you continue to care for it. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, that seed will begin to grow. Tiny roots forming beneath the surface, a small sprout reaching toward the light. And eventually, something beautiful begins to emerge, not because of luck, not because of perfect conditions, but because you chose to nurture what mattered. Take one more long look around your garden and notice how peaceful it feels, how alive it feels, how much potential it holds. Now ask yourself one simple question. What is one small action I can take today to water the seed that I've just planted? Just one. One phone call, one walk, one healthy meal, one boundary, one journal entry, one step, one conversation. Let that answer come to you and commit to taking that action today. Because every beautiful garden begins with one tiny seed. And every beautiful life is built one small choice at a time. Take another deep breath in and slowly let it go. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Remember, my friend, the harvest you're hoping for tomorrow begins with the seeds you're planting today. And the most beautiful part is, you get to choose what grows. Keep growing, keep blooming, and keep cultivating a life that is absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it inspired you or motivated you in some way to keep going and to create your very best life. If you did, would you take 5 quick minutes to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts? It's the best way for me to know that you are enjoying the show, and it helps other listeners find me as well. And while you're at it, head over to lifeisdelicious.ca and sign up for my email newsletter. It's like a warm hug from me every week, and not only will you get first access to new episodes, I've also put together a free 5-day email experience called the Midlife Boundary Reset, where you'll get 5 days of insights, mindset shifts, and daily journal prompts to help you gently start choosing yourself again and create better boundaries without guilt, drama, or burning bridges. I've put the link in the show notes as well, and I think you're going to love it. One last thing, if you know someone who would enjoy an episode like this, please do them a favor and share it with them. It's the best gift you can give someone that you love. If no one has told you today, there is no one on this planet that is exactly like you. And this world is a better place because you're here. So thank you for being here. I'll be back next week, and I hope you'll join me right here on Life is Delicious.